Okay, everyone, we're about to get started. Welcome to another, I can't even talk. Another live stream. Let me just... Here, there we go. Almost all good. Almost all good. Just need to do a little bit of editing here, eh? Oop. How are you all going? You all having a good weekend, everyone? You know, finishing it off? Finishing it off. Oh, well, that's fine. We'll get the text going over there a little bit. It's not the end of the world. You got your steins of coffee? You all ready? So I thought tonight we'd have a look at a little piece here. Little piece here. I'm just going to... There we go. There we go. I got it sorted. I'll save that now. Hello everyone. We got some people from the UK. Let us know in the chat. Where are you all from? Where are you all from? How many people do we have watching here? I've got... Oh, 177 people watching. And my... Why isn't that updating? Let me just reload that. You know what? Tasmania, Hong Kong, Brizzy, Melbourne, Sydney, Melbourne. Most of the viewers of the channel are from Melbourne. We got a few from the States. Sydney, Cairns, Oxford and Perth, Israel, Sydney, Brisbane. Good stuff. Good stuff. So everyone's all over the place. Everyone's all over the place. Hi from the UK. Orange, where they don't grow oranges. don't they grow apples in Orange? I always thought that was funny. Watching from Italy, Mongolia, Perth, another Tassie. Lockdown Central, someone from Victoria, Beverly Hills. Rocky, good old Rocky. I get good beef there. I went there on a uni trip, and it just happened to be when all of the soldiers were in town, all the US soldiers, and they were just hitting on all the girls from uni when we went to the pub. So it was a fun trip there. Going to Rocky, it was good. Good stuff. Here we go. Let me just update this. Okay. There we go. I'm going to save this. I've got all this stuff working. Thank you for bearing with me as I'm getting these things up and running with the live stream. That's the challenge of having multiple channels, because I was starting up HeiseSays US and live streaming on that. It was causing all these issues with this channel here. So I've got my stein of coffee, and I thought we'd finish the week by having a look at this a piece from the IMF, where the leader of the IMF is discussing a new Bretton Woods moment, a new opportunity. And, you know, I thought we could all enjoy that together. A great finish to the week. What do you think? What do you think? So let's have a look at this. This is about the IMF. So if you're not familiar with it, we'll just have a quick read through this. The International Monetary Fund is an organization of 189 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world. Created in 1945, the IMF is governed by and accountable to the 189 countries that make up its near global membership. Now, there's just one thing we need to think about. We need to, you know, the difference between money and currency. Because I know all your gold bugs are gonna get me about it. So, money isn't a store of value, where currency is. You can have a unit of money, and it can lose its value and be diminished straight away, and you can't see what I just went through here. So we'll just look at that's the thing. So if I make mistakes going through all this in my ramble, you got to forgive me. You got to forgive me. So the IMF's primary purpose is to ensure the stability of the international monetary system. The system of exchange rates and international payments that enables countries and their citizens to transact with each other. The fund's mandate was updated in 2012 to to include all macroeconomic and financial sector issues that bear on global stability. And if you see some of the things that are coming out of the new leader, I like it. I measure my wealth in ounces. There we go. I'm sure a lot of people watching would measure their wealth in ounces. Wealth is health. Yes, true it is. So, you know, a lot of the issues that are coming out of the IMF, well, it's taking a much more broader tone. So I thought we'd just have a look at this speech, and I will bring this up here for you all to see. So this is the speech by the leader of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva. And I probably butchered that, but she is very much a Keynesian. And it says here, in Introduction to Sisterhood and Brotherhood of Humanity. So you can suspect this is going to be good. This is going to be good. So let me know how the audio goes on this, everyone. If there's any echoes, please, because I'm trying to sort all these problems out.
I first want to thank Dr. Ernest Kwamina Addison for his excellent remarks. And
how's that audio, guys? Is that working for you there? Is that all coming through nice? Audio is dude. Does that mean good or bad? I sound angelic. I know I do. Yep, fantastic. Choice. So we got some Kiwis here. That's Kiwi language, isn't it? What happened in New Zealand? You voted her back in, guys. Come on. With a landslide. I guess people like being ruled over, don't they? Sounds better than Andrews. Well, it's not really true, is it? It's not really, well, not really a big thing. Okay. I'm going to have a shot of coffee and let's get into this one.
I first want to thank Dr. Ernest Kwamina Addison for his excellent remarks and for his contributions as chairman of the IMF's Board of Governors. Reflecting on the dramatic change in the world over the last year, I paid a visit to Bretton Woods in New Hampshire, where 44 men signed our Articles of Agreement in 1944. Our founders faced two massive tasks: to deal with the immediate devastation caused by the war and to lay the foundation for a more peaceful, more prosperous post-war world. At the conclusion of the conference, John Maynard Keynes captured the significance of international cooperation as hope for the world. If we can continue, the brotherhood of men will have become more than a phrase, he said. As we look forward to welcoming Andorra as our 190th member, the work of the IMF is testament to the values of cooperation and solidarity on which a sisterhood and brotherhood of humanity is built.
What do you think about the idea of a sisterhood and a brotherhood of humanity? And yes, yeah, quoting Keynes, yeah, there'll be a lot of that here. And there is a lot of socialist undertones coming through in all of this. Just the same as Davos. Yeah, it really feels like it, doesn't it? I mean, it's the same people. They're in the same circles. They're talking in the same things. You know, it sounds like a cult to me. It really does, doesn't it? And wait till they start talking about the environmentalism. The problem is, this is an opportunity and they can't afford to miss it. They're going to take advantage of it. They're going to take advantage of it. Oh boy. Starting good, isn't it? And now we've got all these central banks around the world are looking at issuing these central bank digital currencies, and just the control that could give them. That scares me more than anything. And every country is lurching more and more to the left. Look at the ACT, what happened there with their election. And Queensland, we've got early voting, pre-polling tomorrow. There are people that are happy. They think our glorious leader here in Queensland saved us all. You think these people are finished? They're losing power to nationalism. Well, nationalism is growing, definitely around the world, but, I mean, there's a lot of people that like being ruled over. It seems to be.
Today, we face a new Bretton Woods moment. A pandemic that has already cost more than 1 million lives. An economic calamity that will make the world economy 4.4% smaller this year and strip an estimated 11 trillion of output by next year.
Don't worry, they can just print $11 billion worth of money. Isn't that how it works? You know, printing money is as good as actually producing something of legitimate value, isn't it? Someone's moving to Antarctica? Oh, mate, you know, you'll get pretty crappy internet over there.
And untold human desperation in the face of huge disruption, rising poverty for the first time in decades.
That's because of the coordinated lockdowns of the economy across the entire world. Now, even the WHO is being critical of it. Historically, epidemiologists were critical of these methods. They were saying that it wasn't worth it, and it's affecting the poorest of the poor. We see it even here in Australia. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, hasn't that been accepted now? Isn't that part of the narrative? Thanks for that super, Nico. Appreciate it, mate. I know Victoria's going pretty bad at the moment.
Once again, we face two massive tasks: to fight the crisis today and build a better tomorrow. We know...
Is this just all boomers, guys, that want to have their moment in history? You know, they've just lived through good times, all the way, and they just want to have their moment in history now. They're boomer World War II. You know? What do you think? It feels like it, doesn't it? It really does. It really does. Oh, hang on. Let's...
be taken right now. A durable economic recovery is only possible if we beat the pandemic. Health measures must remain a priority. I urge you to support production and...
The restrictions are what's destroying the economy. We're now having a pandemic of mental health issues and businesses getting destroyed. Did you see someone there, Brownie's, talking about Trump? Did you see him in his latest speeches where he's talking about his son getting it and his wife getting it? And he said, "Don't worry, I'm not old." He was fine. And then you see something on news.com about a Russian athlete who was only 35 and got it. I bet you the guy was on roids. Look at the pictures of him. I mean, oh.
Distribution of effective therapies and vaccines to ensure that all countries have access.
Isn't our government here already intervening on the professional ability of doctors to prescribe certain medication? It's a funny world, isn't it? All this control.
I also urge you to continue support for workers and businesses until a durable exit from the health crisis. We have seen global fiscal actions of 12 trillion. Major central banks have
and we don't think we're going to get hyperinflation with just all these interventions into the economy, guys. It's just crazy.
Expanded balance sheets by $7.5 trillion.
$7.5 trillion. I mean, this is the only tools they have. This is the whole process of the economic intervention. It's just Keynesian, isn't it?
These synchronized measures have prevented the destructive macro-financial feedback we saw in previous crises.
No, it hasn't. It's just delayed it. It's just delayed it. Oh, thanks for the super again, Nico and Luke. Yep. Check out the HeiseSays US channel, guys. I try and do it daily. Depends on how busy I am. I've been pretty slack today. We were at it with the kids. I came back and passed out. Actually, I'm just gonna while I'm here, I'm going to fix something. I'm going to fix something. Nope. Okay. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Central banks have expanded balance sheets by 7.5 trillion. These synchronized measures have prevented the destructive macro-financial feedback we saw in previous crises. But almost all countries are still hurting, especially emerging market and developing economies.
Do you all feel like we're seeing the beginnings of the hidden secrets of money starting to play out? With just money being dumped on everyone, left, right, and center, more and more money, and people are getting afraid, and then they'll start just... I mean, this is the thing. People are saying in the comments, oh, these people are evil. I don't genuinely think they are. I think they think they're doing good. They don't believe in Austrian economics. They don't believe in that school of thought. They believe that they know better, that they're doing, you know, the best for humanity. So just print more money just to keep the plebs happy, and then they'll be content. You know, and just keep churning it on, churning it out. Hendo is frustrated listening to it, mate. Yeah, you got to... I mean, you've got to see what they're talking about here. Rolf wants Austrian economics. I want at least to be taught. This is some ideas can talk about, you know, can put it forward.
And while the global banking system entered the crisis with high capital and liquidity buffers, there is a weak tail of banks in many emerging markets. We must take measures to prevent the buildup of financial risks over the medium term. We face what I have called...
What the hell are they showing? This is B-stock footage. A bunch of people hiking. What does that have to do with anything? Oh, well, I guess, you know, they need to get their B-roll from somewhere.
A long ascent for the global economy. A climb that will be...
Long ascent for the global economy. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, I guess that's it. I need to go hiking. I should start a hiking channel.
Difficult, uneven, uncertain.
That's not an uneven climb. That's not a that is a relaxing climb. That is not too tough. Okay, you go through some bush in Australia, you know, where you got to climb over crap and then a redback can kill you. And we got the drop bears. These foreigners don't know what a drop bear is. You know. Oh, what bullshit. See, this is the problem. This is reality in their picture there. That's reality. Oh, you can't see it. I'm moving the mouse over it. That's reality. But look at how they, you know, this is probably the accuracy of their economic modeling here. All this bullshit going up and down, up and down, up and down. Oh, boy.
And prone to setbacks. But it is a climb up. And we will have a chance to address some persistent problems. Low productivity, slow growth, high inequalities, a looming climate crisis.
There you go, guys. Inequality, climate crisis, and low productivity. All saved by the magic of just printing shitloads of money. That's it. I mean, come on. Why have we been working? Why have we been doing it hard? Get some whiskey and your stein of coffee. I was having some rum last night, beige. I was having some rum last night. You know, just with the magic of printing money. Oh boy. Magic money tree. Just brew. Hang on. Wait, I can do that special. Actually, all the members, come on, let's break out the money brew emoji that I made. Hang on. There we go.
We can do better than build back the pre-pandemic world. We can build forward.
There you go. Notice that? We can build... See, this is where I need to get like a splice of that... what was that 80s show? You know, where we can rebuild him, the $1 Million Man or something? We can build better. You know, a better future, not make the mistakes of the past. Comrade. And then the Russian anthem starts playing. Or it turns in the episode of The Simpsons where the Soviet Union just appears again.
To a world that is more resilient, sustainable, and inclusive.
See, the problem is... Oh, thanks for that super brownie. I appreciate it, mate. The problem is they've lost their way. I mean, the best way to address all of these issues they've highlighted has just been a freer market. That's had the greatest impact throughout all of history of humanity. And they're becoming, even the IMF are becoming much more interventionist. I mean, that's all they know. Oh.
We must seize this new Bretton Woods moment. How?
There we go. They're going to seize it. Sustainable equals more control. Well, yeah, it is a lot of control. Hey, did they? Were they talking about making cigarettes as a prescription drug here in Australia? My mother told me that. Is that true, guys, or was she kidding to me? Because that seems just insane. That just seems... Yes, yeah, oh shit, yeah, really. Bert thinks it's a good thing. Why? Just think about how much money we'll be wasting on boomers going to doctors. Such a waste of money to get a prescription for cigarettes. You know? Nuts. Oh boy. Just let people grow their own tobacco. Alcohol's okay though. Yeah, alcohol causes more damage. Oh boy. No, and don't worry, end smoking when all the people die of it. That's how you end it. It's people's choice. You know?
I see three imperatives. First, the right economic policies. What was true at Bretton Woods remains true today.
But Bretton Woods failed. It failed. It didn't work. Isn't it every 40 years the monetary system collapses? The whole system changes. We're due for a reset right now. Or maybe if I've been watching too much Hidden Secrets of Money. Feels like it, doesn't it? Is this... who is it? This is the head of the IMF, Steve. One of the people that's going to affect all of our lives more than we realize it. So we're overdue for a reset. You know what they're going to do? They're going to push this central bank digital currency with incredible control through to us. That's what we're going to see. That's what we're going to see.
Prudent macroeconomic policies and strong institutions are critical for growth, for jobs, for improved living standards.
Strong institutions. People have lost faith in the institutions. Or maybe some people haven't. We're seeing that. Look at NZ, guys. Look at NZ. You know, and it all ties in together, isn't it?
One size does not fit all. Policies must be tailored to individual country needs. Support remains essential for some time. Withdrawing it too early risks grave and unwarranted economic harm. The stage of the crisis will determine the appropriate shape of this support, generally broader early on and more targeted as countries begin to recover. Strong medium-term framework.
How can we ever recover if we're going to be propped up? How can our economy recover if it's going to have the support mechanisms in place? A bird can never learn to fly if you don't push it out of the nest. Is this just the ultimate helicopter parenting on an economic scale? You know, our economic parents.
Works for monetary, fiscal, and financial policies, as well as reforms to boost trade, competitiveness, and productivity, can help create confidence for policy action now, while building much-needed resilience for the future.
Oh, the much-needed resilience for the future. That just scares me. It just really scares me. Because I just see that as impediments into people lifting themselves up out of poverty, creating businesses. You know, because you need to be resilient. You need to prove you have this capacity. You need to prove you have all of this, and this.
That includes keeping a careful watch on risks presented by elevated debt. We expect 2021 debt levels to go up significantly to around 125% of GDP in advanced economies, 65% of GDP in emerging markets, and 50% of GDP in low-income countries. The fund is providing debt relief to its poorest members, and with the World Bank, we support extension by the G20 of the debt service suspension initiative. Beyond this, where debt is unsustainable, it should be restructured without delay.
Let's do that on an individual level. Oh, first world's going to flip will be the third world. You know, that isn't quite a joke, actually, because a lot of former third world countries are significantly improving their human development index, their quality of life, their education. Particularly over the last few years, it's been insane. It's been insane. But you know what ruins that? Getting in the way.
Should move towards greater debt transparency and enhanced creditor coordination. I am encouraged by the G20 discussions on a common framework for sovereign debt resolution, as well as on our call for improving the architecture for sovereign debt resolution, including private sector participation. We are there for our member countries, supporting their policies. And policies must be for people. My second imperative.
We're second imperative, everyone. For people. Does that scare the shit out of you two guys? Oh boy. For people. I need some more coffee. Sorry.
To reap the full benefits of sound economic policy, we must invest more in people. That means protecting the vulnerable. It also means boosting human and physical capital to underpin growth and resilience. COVID-19 has underscored the importance of strong health systems. Rising inequality and rapid technological change demands strong education and training systems to increase opportunity and reduce disparities.
See, it all sounds good. It all sounds really good, but you need to, you know, if you've been around a bit, you see a lot of it's all BS, to be honest. You know, you've got a little bit of lived experience.
Accelerating gender equality can be a global game changer. For the most unequal countries, closing the gender gap could increase GDP by an average of 35%.
See, this is the thing. A lot of these economists, a lot of these global leaders talk about people not as humans, but they dehumanize us. You know? Oh, no, this organization's very woke, guys. It's very woke. They see us all as economic units. They see us as economic units. So they want to close the gender gap. Simply, that means they want to get more women participating in the workforce. What does that do? Drives down. Oh, it does exist in other countries. Drives down your wages. You know, I think it's part of the reason why houses are now more expensive and why you need two people to work. You know, it's not a luxury anymore. It's a necessity in Australia.
Investing in our young people is investing in our future.
Well, we've kind of destroyed the future for young people here in Australia now with these lockdowns. I'm hearing horror stories all the time.
They need access to health and education, and also access to the internet, because that gives them access to the digital economy.
That is a very good point, though. Right there, 100%. Access to the internet gives people much greater access to information, to knowledge, to the economy, to opportunities they never had before. You know, why doesn't Australia just make NBN free for everyone in the country?
So critical for growth and development in the future. expanding internet access in sub-Saharan Africa just by 10% of the population.
Yeah, how many, okay, this GDP growth, how much of it is coming in scam money from dodgy internet scams, guys? Oh, well, oh. Okay, I've been watching, someone put me onto this new, or not this new, but a YouTuber I haven't heard of. He's like a coffee guy, and he just debunks all these scammers, and he's talking to all these scammers that contact people. He's awesome, you know. So yeah, okay, 4% of GDP. How much of it cost in other countries? That'd be interesting. I wonder if there's any research.
Could increase real per capita GDP growth by as much as 4 percentage points. Digitalization also helps with financial inclusion as a powerful tool to help overcome poverty. Just as the pandemic has shown that we can no longer ignore health precautions, we can no longer afford to ignore climate change.
Here we go. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. To make it publicly known, I'm not at all worried about climate change in the slightest. Our environmental impact is so slow moving. There are things of far greater consequence which are going to have a much bigger impact on human lives that we should be addressing. I suggest you read the Copenhagen Consensus, because a lot of the stuff we're doing now is completely pointless, and we don't know where technology will lead in the next couple of 100 years. And people like WT is saying control, control. Well, yeah, that's what it can be used for. And it feels a lot like a cult too when you hear people talk about it. It really does. You know, financial inclusion. I'm thinking of, that's the one advantage that crypto would have. That provided a whole wealth of people around the world to financial services. But of course the central banks don't want to lose that monopoly on power, do they?
My third imperative. We focus on climate change because it is macrocritical.
That's it. The solution to climate change is just printing a shitload of money, guys. There we go. We've got it. We've figured it out. Have you seen the David Attenborough doco on climate change? No, I haven't. I haven't seen it. Is it any good? I mean, I went through all this at university, guys. We had a subject which is completely greenwashing, where it was Marxist and developing global systems, and that's where I really started to question a lot of that was put in front of me, because I couldn't find evidence to back it all up. I was too cynical, you know. And everyone who does it suggests, oh, we need to do this or do this just to, you know, pay the price now for the greater good, and I don't like that type of rhetoric. Polar bears are fine, they're growing back, and they're a good source of meat, good fat.
Pausing.
Oh, we got 450 watching. Thanks, everyone. Hope you're enjoying it. We're learning about all the glorious plans of the IMF. You know, their own version of Bretton Woods. You know, are we going to head, you know, global currency reset?
Profound threats to growth and prosperity. It is also people critical and planet critical. In the last decade, direct damage from climate-related disasters adds up to around $1.3 trillion.
Okay, I've looked at this stuff. I've looked at it, like everyone here is saying that, oh, it's all, you know, the bushfires or this or this or this here in Australia are caused by climate change. You go back through the number of bushfires that they have, it hasn't really increased. If you go back far enough. And you go back to the turn of the century. There's a Royal Commission in Victoria about insufficient clearing of the bush. You know, they buggered it up. And we had a Royal Commission into it, and 100 years later we're doing the exact same thing. So, I'm skeptical about it. You know, that's the problem, it's confirmation bias. But
if you don't like this health crisis, we will not like the climate crisis one iota.
There you go. There you go. Oh, thanks for that, super mate. There you go. So they're linking it to the health crisis. Well, I don't like this health crisis. I don't like how our governments here in Australia have embraced authoritarianism at all. You know?
Our research shows that with the right mix of green investment and higher carbon prices, we can...
There you go. Hear that one? Guys, did you all hear that? Green investment and higher carbon prices. How many climate scientists tell you to be an architect? A lot of them. Doctors too tell us all to be an architect, mate. Everyone can do it. How many climate scientists have worked with energy models in their professional career and seen how it's all bullshit? Because we do. And how many... and you know what profession is the one that deals all in embodied energy? It's my profession, mate. You go and look at all the papers, they're written by architects. So I'm not, you know, talking out my ass here. Because when you see people... Because we're in a generalist. We're, as an architect, we're, you know, sure we deal with buildings, but we're quite generalistic. So we'll look at the cost of a building, then people will tell you all these green interventions, then you look at the embodied energy, then you look at the financial savings, because that's an increase in your client's cost, and then you realize, oh, wait a minute, that $15,000 you're putting onto this house is never going to be worthwhile. It's never going to pay for itself. That's when you start to question all this stuff. And then you start seeing people, okay, we've got to get a 5-star energy or a 6-star energy rating for this building, and you'll see them literally just screw around with the computer model to average it out to get that rating, so they tick that box. Or you see these green star bloody rating systems, these buildings that get 6-star design, you know, and then that's the design. When they build it, it can be whatever the hell they want. They just advertise the 6, and it's a piece of crap. So that's where I'm coming from actual professionally encountering this bullshit, not just, you know, reading a few websites. So I wouldn't trust a climate scientist because they know about climate, but they don't know about the economy. So that's my take of it, mate. What's this? I have to read something from Cairns News. Thank you for the super chat. Oh no, what? The Great Reset. Okay, mate, that'll probably be a video for tomorrow, I think. So, I mean, that's my point I'm coming from. Okay, and so many people I talk to about it, they've never actually done an embodied energy calculation on anything. They think solar panels is the best thing, and they want to subsidize it, so they want to steal tax money from poor people, working class people, and then pay it to put it on rich people's houses. And that's what's happening. You know? I've seen it. I've seen it. That's what pisses me off when you drive through the nice suburbs. You see all the panels, they're all subsidized. Some of them getting more than someone will get for a pension in a whole year. And they don't need that money. They don't need that bloody welfare. For what? They'll probably burn more energy because they have it. So that's where the government needs to just step out and let the market decide. It's much simpler. Thanks for the super mindful. I'll have a look. So yeah, I mean, that's my rant. And that's why I probably get a sense of disgust whenever I see them. I still remember that bloody Brisbane Club lunch. All these, you know, $200 for a lunch, and they're all talking about how much they love the solar. And I tell them, you put that comment to them, well, you don't get invited back to the lunch. Oh shit.
And steer toward zero emissions by 2050, and we can help create millions of new...
Zero emissions by 2050, but let's just... See, I had one of these things. I had a Smart for 2 car. A little Smart for 2. That back before Rachel and I had like 50 billion kids. It was just the two of us, just in that car. It was awesome. It was so awesome, you know? We'd never have to give anyone a lift, all this stuff. US channel cover your latest on Sky News on Biden. I'll have to have a look, Thomas. I've been a bit tired the last few days.
We can steer toward zero emissions by 2050, and we can help create millions of new jobs.
Okay. That's true. They can create millions of new jobs, but they can also destroy millions of new jobs. Or millions of existing jobs. That's never mentioned. They keep talking about all of you know, this new intervention, these new, you know, construction projects, or we're building this wind farm here and it'll generate all these jobs. Yeah, but you look at the project time frame. Then the jobs will disappear. How many people do you need to maintain this stuff? Hardly anything.
We have a historic opportunity to build a greener world. Also,
there we go. Historic opportunity to build a greener world. Pollution is at the lowest level it's been in a long time. Everyone has well, there's two fantasies that people have. They've got the fantasy of the noble savage. So they all think that all indigenous cultures lived like some utopian lifestyle in harmony with nature, which is just utter BS. The fact that they managed to, particularly the Aboriginals here in Australia, the fact that they managed to survive on this desert of a continent is amazing. You know, we have to give them respect for that. But it wasn't a happy utopian lifestyle. It was tough. We've all got it much better now. And then they've got this other fantasy. I forgot where I forgot what was going on. Hang on.
1 iota. Because it is macrocritical, overcome poverty. Just as the pandemic has shown.
Oh, they want to build a greater, greener world. And they're more worried about pollution everywhere. And pollution is getting a lot better. Now, I'm not ignorant, mate, but look it up, okay? Look up the statistics. Pollution is going down, okay? You should look it up. Look at some history. People think forests were never cultivated. They're wild now. You go back to the Middle Ages. They were all cultivated throughout Europe. They were all used. They were all managed. The biggest pollution now is all coming from China. Australia, here we're fine. It's getting a lot better.
That we can no longer ignore health precautions. We can no longer afford to ignore climate change. My third imperative. We focus on climate change because it is macrocritical, posing profound threats to growth and prosperity. It is also people critical and planet critical.
Thanks for the super chat, He-Man or Hellman. I am on Patreon, mate. I am on Patreon. I'm on there. I don't really post any content up to it because I put it all here. I don't feel right doing something just for the patrons.
In the last decade, direct damage from climate-related disasters adds up to around $1.3 trillion. If we don't like this health crisis, we will not like the climate crisis 1 iota. Our research shows that with the right mix of green investment and higher carbon prices, we can steer toward zero emissions by...
Oh, that one there, the higher carbon prices, that means a carbon tax. That's carbon tax, guys. 95% of the pollution comes from third world countries. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Climate change, people complain about Australia's bushfires because the bushfires' carbon levels aren't smart. What do you mean? We're already burning stuff up north. I'll bring it up to where they're back burning to reduce the potential wildfire burning, and that they get carbon credits for it and sell it on. It's fantastic. It's a brilliant deal.
By 2050, and we can help create millions of new jobs. We have a historic opportunity to build a greener world, also a more prosperous and job-rich one. With low interest rates, the right investments today can yield a triple dividend tomorrow, avert future losses, spur economic gains, save lives, and deliver social and environmental benefits for everyone. At the fund, we are working tirelessly to support a durable recovery.
Just the comments about the smart car in an accident. I was driving down to Byron, and I had like 5 trucks in front of me, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Yeah, they're terrifying. They're terrifying, those little cars, guys.
And a resilient future as countries adapt to structural transformations brought on by climate change, by digital acceleration, and the rise of the knowledge economy. Since the pandemic began, we have committed over $100 billion, and we still have...
Who cares what they've committed? The money comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? Anyway, they've committed it.
Substantial resources from our $1 trillion in lending capacity. We will continue to pay special attention to the urgent needs of emerging market and low-income countries, especially small and fragile states, helping them to pay doctors and nurses, and protect the most vulnerable people and parts of their economy. Our unprecedented action was only possible thanks to our members' generous support. The doubling of the new arrangements to borrow and a new round of bilateral borrowing arrangements preserves our much-needed financial firepower. Members also have stepped up with essential contributions to our catastrophe containment and relief and poverty reduction and growth trusts.
I wonder how much the Australian contribution to the IMF. Let's have a look. Oh, how much does the IMF... What? Australia's maximum financial commitment to the IMF is currently 7.6 billion. SDR 7. I don't want to go down this path. It's... Okay, nothing's looking good for Australia here. We'll have to look.
This has allowed us to support our low-income members with debt relief and to triple our concessional lending. We are engaging with members to further boost our concessional lending capacity, to adapt our lending toolkit, and to increase support for capacity development. IMF staff working day and night have been
working day and night, and she shows a picture of herself taking a selfie. What?
Trusts.
What?
This has allowed us to support our low-income members with debt relief and to triple our concessional lending. We are engaging with members to further boost our concessional lending capacity, to adapt our lending toolkit, and to increase support for capacity development. IMF staff working day and
Working.
night have been magnificent in this crisis. My sincere thanks to them and to my management team. And my deep appreciation to our executive directors. They have been there every step of the way over the past 6 months. The best memorial we can build to those who have lost their lives in this crisis is, in the words of Keynes, that bigger thing: building a more sustainable and equitable world. Our founders did it. It is now our turn. This is our moment.
So there we have it. What do you think, everyone? This is our moment. This is their turn. This is their founders. Did it, and now they think they're going to do it. What do you think, guys? Dylan, creepy AF. What a profound slogan. This is our Earth. A lot of mumbo jumbo. Good try, we don't buy your globalist idea. This is a $7 billion waste. What have these people done? I mean, they're going to do the same thing they've done again and again, haven't they? She's calling for a Bretton Woods moment. It all seems to be falling into place, doesn't it? It seems like an opportunity people won't miss. This makes them feel important. Well, it goes from... We had a look at the strong cities and the Melbourne connection to that. It goes through all levels. And how many of these people are elected? How many of these people are elected, guys? Are any of them? They get in the bureaucracy, they work their way up. or they get into politicians, then they get their way into these organizations. Bretton Woods was the conference they had at the end of World War II, essentially where all currencies around the world, or a significant amount of currencies, were pegged to the US dollar, which was pegged to gold, and then eventually they took it off gold. Doesn't give them the power, so it failed. It didn't work. So now we've got this crazy system where everything's floating, and the argument is that every 40 to 50 years you get a reset in the monetary system, or the currency system, the monetary system, and it looks like we're approaching another one now. And you've got all the central banks around the world, except Australia, talking about implementing their own digital currency that they will control. And if you learn a little bit about crypto, about how it can be controlled, that should really scare a lot of you. It should really scare a lot of you. Boomers will lose the lot. You think, Skip? Centralized cryptos can be controlled. Have a look at any of the other projects where they've got a central body of people and they'll control it. It's happened all the time. Some of the big projects, they may have like a board, and then yeah. But think about anything they're going to be releasing will just be centrally bank controlled, so it'll be their system. Enter the MMT dream world. Well, it seems like MMT seems to be explaining their behavior. Buy property now, now. Well, I mean, it is real wealth. It is something usable. Maybe buy something that can have a use. That can have a use. That can be productive asset. I think a lot of property that people think are productive assets actually aren't. Nathaniel is saying gold, BTC, Bitcoin is the new gold. I've seen people talk about Bitcoin as a store of wealth, and I actually went and looked at the original white paper. It was never intended, there was never ever anything in the original white paper as a store of wealth. It was meant to be used as a currency, or as a way to transact. But a lot of cryptos it was really painful as a way to transact. It's a pain in the ass. You have to pay a lot of fees to actually do any transaction. It's so expensive to use, and it's inconvenient. So now everyone's calling it a store of wealth. So I don't know where that's come from. But then again, it will have a limited amount. I see the US has been taken out of the way and then replaced the new currency with the digital central bank. Well, yeah, I mean, that's more and more talking about this. More and more talking about a central currency. I mean, that's the one thing. If there's demand for it and there's a finite amount of crypto, most of the crypto's already been mined anyway. If there's demand, it's like any other medium of exchange. But, well, I mean, the thing is that they can track it and can control it. Well, not control it, but they can track it. It's all to do with convenience. That's the thing. It's all to do with what's easier. Where else do you store your wealth when banks are crooked and currency is not safe? Well, I think you got a lot of precious metal people here, or you got a lot of people that put it in property. Other people put it into shares or buying businesses. Some people put it into food. Buy some beef. Bartering sounds better and better. The problem is you need to have the issue with bartering is you may not find someone that wants to trade your old sneakers for the object that you want. That's why you need another means of exchange. Oil demand is lowest in years. Well, yeah, no one's doing anything. No one's traveling. No one's traveling. Someone bought 30 acres of land. Congratulations, Dylan. Good luck. XRP was looking as a strong candidate for cross-border payments. They don't actually have any deals with any banks, I don't understand. And see, this is the thing. Why can't the banks will just create their own? They won't need to. They can just get the open source data and do it. Can I unban you from Discord? I'll have a look, mate. I'll have a look. It's just people are spamming it with stuff. Plant vegetables now. Sauerkraut. I've been eating a lot of that. There's a planet the size of Earth close by. That's one big diamond. What would that do to the precious metals market? Well, you got to get to it. That's a pointless argument. You know, that's not going to occur within our lifetime. Don't worry about it. You know. She is AOC in 60 years. Perhaps. Perhaps. What's this? The other side of it is it's controlled on who gets the money as well. Yeah. This is the problem. What's wrong with my coffee swig? Does it sound rough? Oh, probably. I usually turn the audio off when I drink the coffee in a normal video. Not at the moment. Oh, the moon is made of cheese. Of course, it'd be some good cheese. Helium-3. We should all watch Iron Sky, guys. That documentary about how World War II really ended. And then the sequel that took way too long. Mr. Tim Tam. The way I see it is crypto is a convenient payment method, not a store of wealth to the same degree as gold. But is it convenient? That's the thing. I tried once to offer some drafting services for a painter for an extension to his house, and I said I'll do it in crypto. I'll give you a discount. He didn't want to. He didn't want to give up his cryptocurrency. He'd rather pay me in cash. So there you go. Early voting starts tomorrow, Crunchy is saying. Here in Queensland, yes it is. I want to do a video on that. One thing I encourage you, if you're frustrated with the minor two, don't donkey vote. If you're frustrated with the big two parties, don't donkey vote. Vote for a minor and bookend your vote with one of the biggest so it's not lost, so then the minor parties can get that support. At the very least, find one that most closely aligns with your opinion or your political position, and we'll look at all the parties and chuck them a vote so they can get that support. And if there's no one running in your seat, step up. I think Palachuk will get back in, to be honest. You know, if Biden wins the election, do a special. Okay, we'll have to. But we'll see. I mean, it's all over there. Can we vote for Trump? You want Queensland to become part of... Well, is Peter Schiff on 60 Minutes? What, Australian 60 Minutes or US 60 Minutes, guys? I have to have a look. Vote for Queensland to become part of the US. How do I do the preferences right? Well, put number 1 for your minor you want, and then just count down, fill out every box, and put the greens last. There you go. Should I run for my seat as a libertarian ticket? Maybe. The problem here in Queensland is we don't have an upper house, so you might not get any traction. And someone's saying I should run. I ran once, and it was exhausting. It was utterly exhausting. And I think we got, what, 3%? 3% of the vote. And yeah, an electorate is big. It's big. Oh, that was federal. I'm probably more interested in state things, actually, here in Queensland. But, I mean, if you want to do it. The problem is you saw, what's his name? Oh, there you go, Rachel saying no. I'm not allowed. Hey, honey, how you going? Who was that other YouTuber? The one who ran on the Gold Coast. Got 100,000, over 100,000 subs, the big guy. I can't remember his name. He ran for the Libertarian Party. I mean, that's the thing. You've got a much bigger audience here. If you get big numbers, you need to get out on the street and meet people. And a lot of people don't understand preferences. They don't understand how to use them. And I think that's the most important thing. A Bill of Rights for Australian. Yeah, I'd like that idea. But let's make it so it's one that they can't what do you call it? Just write off like they do in Victoria. The US is coming to supervise. The UN is coming to supervise the US election. They should probably send the Australian Electoral Commission over. Rachel, can you please ask Florian to... Okay, I'll turn her off. You want to go on? There you go. Fine. Hang on, I'll change my page background here. What do we need? There we go. We'll have this here. You can look at the facts of the IMF. Hey, Truth, welcome. You came just at the end. We're just having the chat afterwards. Was it Independent Man? Yes, that's it. Independent Man. That's the one. How did he go? I mean, it's tough to build support. And we had the other guy interviewed for the Libertarian Party down in New South Wales, the by-election there. Stewart for One Nation. He did really well. He did really well. But I mean, he's got a reputation, and he was even complaining. Some of his mates would tell him, "Oh, mate, I put you second." So some of his mates he worked with, they didn't understand preferencing. They put Labor first, and they put him second. And he goes, "Well, it's kind of useless." So if you put Labor first, or one of the big parties first, they're going to get it first. If I become Premier, put Adam... Where is it? Put Adam or Martin North as Treasurer. I think that'd be a tough call. I think Adam would be a good treasurer, but I think Martin wouldn't be as antagonizing to all the people. It'd be entertaining. Get them both in there. Wait, 60 Minutes Australia did the smear job on Schiff. Okay, I'll have to have a look. Martin for Foreign Affairs. I think we need to do a no vote and sack the government. They're corrupt. You won't get the numbers for that. You won't get the numbers. Seriously, how did Jacinta get re-elected in NZ? Kiwis, can you tell us in the chat how that happened? Please? Can you let us know? How did it happen? How did it happen? Russian hackers in the New Zealand election. Trump wins the Electoral College. Democrats claim need more time for mail-in votes. Yeah, oh, it's going to be a complete shit show in the States, guys. It's going to be tough. Kiwis are rough on the outside, soft in the middle. Yeah, that probably sounds right. You know? I'd make a horrible premier. You know? Particularly with my historical background. You know, absolute power, I'd be terrible. Yeah, terrible. You know? If Jacinta keeps giving Kiwis free stuff, it might stop them moving to the Gold Coast. That's very, very inappropriate, Carl. It's Logan that they move to, not the Gold Coast. Not the Gold Coast. Which, you know, a lot of nice Kiwis there. Australia was a registered private company. Yeah, it is. Australia actually is. We're a registered private company in the US as a method for us to access the financial markets there directly. It's never been used. That's all it is. You know. It's not, sadly, it's not an exciting conspiracy theory, guys. They moved to the Gold Coast as well? Yeah, well, I mean, you can't blame them, honestly. You can't blame them. As long as they, you know, all of them I've met have worked hard. Going to school. That's what you want, isn't it? I mean, New Zealand's pretty much part of the Federation. Just looking any more comments here, guys. I had to stay in Logan once, just made it out alive. It's not that bad. I mean, you give it... I got mates that live there and you give them so much shit, but it's not that bad in Logan, guys. It's not that bad. We call Australia the West Island. Yep. Well, Rachel, if you're watching, I'd love to... We've got to take the kids over there one day. I want to do a camping trip. Is Logan like Frankston? I don't know. What is Frankston like? I mean, well, Frankston. It's you'd call it a pretty bit of a bogan suburb, really. You know, it's not that bad, honestly. At least you don't have any pretentious douchebags there. See, that's the thing. What would you rather? Go in the city, you deal with a bunch of snobs, or with Logan, at least you could probably have a better time at a barbecue with some people. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Can we sack the board of the Australian company? No, I'm afraid we can't. I mean, in some ways, it'd probably be better if Australia was a company then, because it would be easier to replace the CEO. They'd actually have performance requirements. But all the social justice stuff would get involved, wouldn't it? Country bogan people are a lot friendlier than city folk. I guess it depends on the people that you are. You know, I mean, everyone can be a bastard. You know, just the pretentious ones. I think in Queensland it's a bit of a private school, public school stuff as well. That's called voting. Yeah, but more efficient than voting. I mean, here's the question. Should you be able to vote if you can't speak or read English? There's a question for you. What do you think? Should there be a literacy test for English? How do you know what you're going to vote for that you're not being used? It's nuts. You know? Is it possible for WA to separate from Australia? I don't think the other states will ever let it happen. Didn't they have dodgy voting info in Chinese last election? Yeah, I think they did. I think they did. Should you be able to vote if you're on a benefit? Should you be able to vote if you're a civil servant? I mean, they just need to make it voluntary. I like the system that we have with the preferences. I think it's very, very good. It's one of the best. That's an Australian invention, and that's something we can really be proud of. So not like in the UK where people vote and they don't get, you know, they can waste their vote. You can't actually waste it over here. Jason thinks only net taxpayers should vote. What do you think? How about only parents should vote? I like that idea. You get one vote for every child you have. That's an awesome idea. You've got a multi-language driver's license test. See, when my father immigrated over here, he had to learn English. Different times, hey? George, no, I've never been to New Zealand. I've never had the chance to go over there. See, Hoffman's comment here, only men and landowners. It was hidden by YouTube, which I think is quite funny. If it's only landowners voting, property owners, it's just the property bubble's just going to get even worse here. Pretty much. Guys, we already have that. We already have landowners can vote. You know? Dylan's suggesting direct democracy, where everyone can vote on everything. But how many people don't even... Well, the old Simpsons line, you know? We have elected officials so we don't have to think. How many people are taking that that stance, guys? It doesn't matter how people vote. What matters is who counts the votes. Can't be a dual citizen. Yeah, that doesn't seem to make sense, does it? It seems quite messy. You can only vote if you're over 40, when you've lived a bit. What do you think? Raise the voting age. We should do it like Rome, 31. The Roman Empire. Why not? Paul wants to ban political donations. Democracy is two wolves and a sheep deciding what is for dinner. Yeah, I mean, that can just generate into mob justice. Which kind of worries me that we don't have an upper house here in Queensland. You know? All is suggesting a return to the Republic from Plato. Voluntary politicians. Service guarantees citizenship. Well, guys, we've been going for hour and a half now. Thank you all very much for joining me for this live stream. Thanks, Beige. Thanks for the super chat, mate. Appreciate it very much. And thank you all for joining in. I'll try and get a stream out. Aussie Capitalist is saying vote Bob Catter. Is he still running or is his son running? Hey Jared, how you going? I'm just about to finish, mate. We just a little Sunday live stream looking at this IMF and some of the, well, another Bretton Woods. You know, we're going to have another currency or monetary system reset. We'll have to see. So guys, thank you all very much. I think I'm going to... Well, I've got to re-upload my video I did this morning about the what was it? That bloody apartment off the plan purchase there. I've made some editing changes to that and I've re-uploaded it. Or I'm going to re-upload it. Thanks for the coffee, Thomas. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see how it all goes. Guys, have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. And yeah, reach out to your Melbourne friends. Mad's going to prepare for bail-in. Why would anyone need to prepare for bail-in? I don't know why that's getting discussion. Because they're just giving every idiot money. We'll have mortgage keeper before we have bail-in. You know, they'll just piss money up against the wall to every idiot. So we'll have to see. Ricardo Bossi, I'll have a look. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, this is the thing. We just watched a presentation about how many central banks in the world are just churning, you know, money printing left, right, and center. You know, the last bail-ins that occurred were in a dodgy bank in the middle of the Caribbean. That was quite unique circumstances. You know, what's if the banks are at risk here in Australia? Well, here's the thing. People are worried about bail-in. What would you rather? Would you rather they inflate your money to be worthless or bail in some of your money and you get bank shares that you can't sell for a couple of years? What's worse? Guys, what's worse? Let me know in the comments. Which one would you think is worse? You know? I think Help wants a new iPhone. The World Economic Forum just wrapped up and the speeches were horrifying. Oh, we'll have to look at a few of them. Jenny's not worried about either. Mr. Pig is buying both gold and silver. Think Help is thinking doing a giveaway. I'll try and organize something for 20,000. We'll see if I can get that sorted. Should we go all in on cash through the election? Did you WF watch the Great Reset video conference? They did. They said the central banks already have digital wallets. Okay, I'll have a look at that. Anyway, guys, take care. I'll see you all next time. And have a good weekend. See you later.